Welcome to Horse Racing Gamer, where champions are made.
YouTube, what's going on? Horse Racing Gamer here. Today I'm going to give you guys my top 3 picks, and I'm just going to go through the current 8-horse field for the Grade 3 Ohio Derby this Saturday, June 25th. It'll be the final race on the card. I'm actually attending this in person because the track is literally like 10 minutes, down the street from me. I've been going to the track actually since I was 3 years old. So I love the track. I love seeing the horses in person. We're going to get a couple of Kentucky Derby horses in this race, a couple of other Grade 1 winners as well. So I'm really, really excited for this race. My 3 picks, which I had somewhere in a spreadsheet. You guys will probably see that pop up in a second. But I am going with the 5-horse White Abario, the 7-horse Tawny Port, and the 4-horse Ethereal Road. So 4, 5, 7, that's who I'm looking at right now as far as the best horses in this upcoming race. And not just because of their odds. I did obviously do research as I do for all these races, looking at the horses, their running styles, you know, how they seem to handle the distance, and so on and so forth. So like I said, 4, 5, 7, those are my top 3 picks. And I'll give you guys a really short and brief breakdown of every horse in this field and what I think their chances are going to be. So without further ado, let's head to the horse that drew post position 1, and that is Baris, going off at 9-2. So talking about the horse that drew post position 1, which is Baris, I don't really know much about this horse. A couple of facts: he is the brother of Uncle Mo. His current odds, he's going off at 9-2, so that's a nice price tag for sure. His equal base speed figure put him at 97. But as far as his performance, I'm a little bit worried that this distance may be a little bit much for him. His last race, I believe, in the Wood Memorial, he did run with the leaders for a majority of the race, but once he hit the stretch, he just tired out and then ultimately ended up finishing out of the money. So I think Baris is an interesting horse. I think if the circumstances and conditions are perfect, this horse has a chance, possibly, especially if he's going to be running with the leaders, to finish well, but I'm still worried about the distance, especially on this track. So I'm not really sure, but like I said, I like the price. I think if you want to work him into an exotic, if you're going to wager on this race, that'd probably be the best thing. And I forgot to mention, this is not any betting advice at all. It's just what I think as far as the field is concerned for these horses. So that's just a disclaimer I forgot to mention earlier. But Baris going off at 9-2. Like I said, maybe work him into an exotic if you're feeling confident. But yeah, we'll roll on to the number 2 horse. And the horse that drew number 2 in this week's Ohio Derby is the 2-horse Brigadier General, going off at 12-1. This horse's total career stats are as follows. He's had 8 career starts, 1 win, 2 places, and 1 show. Equibase speed figure puts him at a 98. What I have for him in his last outing, he went to the lead and he stayed there for about 3/4 of the race, but then he really tired out in the stretch, similar to Baris. So what I've noticed is a couple of these horses that I think are actually going to go to the lead in this Ohio Derby, I'm a little bit worried that they're going to actually tire out, which to me says that a horse that's running a couple lengths off the pace, maybe even a closer, is probably going to be best suited for this track and for this race. So Brigadier General, not really thinking much of him in this race. I think he's going to have an endurance problem, especially running this distance, but we'll have to wait and see. 12-1, obviously that's a good tag if you're looking for a long shot, but I don't expect him to finish in the top 3. The number 3 horse is Droppin' G's, going off at the odds of 8-1. This is the younger brother of Quality Road. This horse is at 10 career starts, 2 wins, 3 shows. Equibase speed figure only at 92. That's the lowest, I think, in this entire field, or the second lowest in this field. Was the furthest back in its recent outing at Churchill Downs. He ran as a closer, but showed no real fight or speed in the stretch. So I'm really not expecting much from Droppin' G's. This horse winning would kind of be like a Rich Strike situation, despite the fact that the odds aren't terrible at 8-1. I didn't see anything special from that last Churchill outing and a couple other races that shows me that this horse may be able to run with this distance, and especially if the pace is fast. Now, I think if it's a slow pace and Droppin' G's decides to run a little bit closer to the front and not sit back as a closer compared to his last outing, I think he could have a chance. But again, I think that's extremely unlikely. So I'm not really expecting much from Droppin' G's, even though he's going off at 8-1. Beautiful gray, of course. I may just go ahead and play a little small wager on him just for that. But as far as really thinking the horse is going to win, I'm not expecting much from the 3-horse Droppin' G's here. Next up is the horse that drew post position 4, and that is Ethereal Road, son of Quality Road, currently going off at odds of 4-1. I think the second favorite behind Tawny Port, if you don't want to include the 9-2 horse of Baris. Ethereal Road. Obviously, I mentioned this horse earlier in the beginning of this video as one of my top 3. Horse's career stats: 8 starts, 2 wins, 1 place, 1 show. Equibase speed figure puts this horse at 100. I don't think he's going to obviously be running for the lead based off of his last race at Pimlico. He ran as a closer and finished very strong in the stretch by 3 lengths to win that race. So I think Ethereal Road has a very strong chance to win on this track. I think he clearly has the endurance to run the distance. He did not run in the Kentucky Derby even though he was supposed to. So I think this is going to be a very good situation here for Ethereal Road. I'm definitely going to be playing this horse. And yeah, I think as long as everything goes according to plan, I think Ethereal Road is going to be finishing in the top 3, if not winning this Ohio Derby. And I think that'd be a good win for Ethereal Road, considering we don't really know where he would have finished in the Kentucky Derby. But I'm liking the chances here of Ethereal Road going off at 4-1. Obviously, you know, play that in exotic, hope that that tag goes up a little bit, but if it doesn't, I may just put a little bit more money on Ethereal Road, but we'll have to wait and see. I like this horse's chances, and he is one of my top 3. And again, speaking of Kentucky Derby, we have the 5-horse White Abario, who I did bet on in the Kentucky Derby, but he finished, I think, 15th or something. He did not do well in that Derby. In his career, he's at 6 starts, 4 wins, 1 show. Equibase speed figure puts him at a high 102. As far as his last race, which actually was the Kentucky Derby, he settled into the middle of the pack during the Derby. I didn't think he was actually going to go and challenge for the lead. He tired out in the stretch, but I think this is a much shorter distance for him that would be obviously more suitable, and I think when you put all that into consideration, I think White Abario has a really strong chance to win this Grade 3 Ohio Derby. Again, he is also one of my 3 horses. Odds going off at 7-2. I like that tag on him, and obviously seeing this horse in person is going to be amazing. I like this horse before the Kentucky Derby. It's going to be a blessing to see him in person in the paddock, so I cannot wait. Between him and Ethereal Road, I'm not sure who I would wager on more to win. I still think Ethereal Road, considering his last showing in Pimlico, I think he is still probably the better choice for me personally. I'm not saying he will beat White Abario. I would love to actually see White Abario win this Derby, since I bet on him in the Kentucky Derby. I think White Abario has a really good chance here, and it'll be exciting to see him and Ethereal hopefully show, you know, be in a late minute showdown in the stretch. So I like White Abario, and I think I will take my chances with him. So next up is the 6-horse Pineapple Man, and like I can't find photos of this horse anywhere on the internet, which is really strange. I did obviously watch a couple of races with him on TVG, but I mean I couldn't get anything worthwhile to show in the picture, so, or show in this video for pictures. Current odds going off at 10-1. Career starts, or career stats are 5 starts, 1 win, 2 places, and 1 show. Equibase speed figure 85. I think he is the lowest speed figure in this entire field, which to me is not a good thing. I'm most likely going to run, though, with Brigadier General at the front in the early goings. He finished pretty strong in his last race at Belmont, which was an allowance race back in May, and that was 2nd place. So, Pineapple Man is going to be an interesting horse. I think he's going to be similar to Baris in the essence that I don't expect this horse to really, you know, win, but I think there's a possibility for him to maybe finish 3rd for that trifecta if that's something you'd be interested in playing. Outside of that, I don't really think this horse is going to be competing for the win. Going off at 10-1, though, it's a good tag if you're looking to just play a random long shot. I think he fits in well with Brigadier General as well. That's all I can really say. This is the 6-horse, excuse me, Pineapple Man. Down to 2 more horses, ladies and gentlemen. The 7-horse is going to be Tawny Port, going off at 3-1, and to me is the current favorite, at least who I would pick as the current favorite in this Ohio Derby. Actually, 6 starts, 3 wins, 1 place, finished 7th in the Kentucky Derby. Equibase speed figure puts his horse at 102. He settles in towards the back of the pack based off of that Kentucky Derby race, which I think actually was his last outing. He had a decent closing finish, again, to be 7th in that Derby. I think clearly he'll be able to handle the distance, and that's what I'm really looking for in this race. I've watched this race several times at the track in person, and it's definitely a common trend that if you're going to be running towards the back, you need to have the endurance and the speed to really close in. But for the most part, I think the last 3 or 4 Ohio Derby winners, they have been front runners, but they were very strong and good front runners. I think the front runners in this particular field are not as strong as the previous winners. That's why I think whoever wins this race is probably going to come from off the pace. I don't think it'll be the first 3 horses unless somebody decides to change their running style. But I expect Pineapple Man, I believe, who else did I say? Pineapple Man, Brigadier General, and Baris. And ironically, those are the three horses I don't think have much of a chance in this race. So I think they are going to be setting the pace, and I think the other horses, your Ethereal Road, your White Abario, excuse me, Tawny Port, I think these horses are going to be sitting just a couple of lengths off the pace, probably keeping the leaders right in eyesight, and I think they'll just pounce on them in the stretch. And I expect Baris, Brigadier General, and Pineapple Man to probably drop out of the top three before we hit the wire. So Tawny Port, again, is the last of my three horses. I do really like this horse. It's a weird thing to say. I'll probably never do that again, but I think this horse has a strong chance to win and surprise the others in this field. Like I said, that was a really strong running in the Kentucky Derby. Technically, out of all the horses that ran in the Kentucky Derby, which is only a Classic Causeway, Tawny Port himself, White Abario, it would have been Ethereal Road, but he did not compete. Out of those three, I definitely think Tawny Port obviously showed the best promise in the Derby. White Abario finished 15th, Classic Causeway finished 11th, and I will be talking about him next. So I definitely think Tawny Port has shown that he is capable of finishing at the top, and like I said, he's dropping in class, he's running a shorter distance. I think he's going to be really strong in this race if everything goes according to plan. So Tawny Port winning would not be a surprise at all for me this upcoming Saturday. And last but not least is the 8-horse Classic Causeway, going off at odds at 6-1, 7 starts, 3 wins, 1 place, 1 show. Again, this horse finished 11th in the Kentucky Derby. Egabe speed figure though puts this horse at 104. I think he actually has the highest speed figure in the entire field. Not that I really wager on speed figures anyways. It's just an additional asset that kind of helps me to pinpoint what horses I like the most. So, like I said, the highest speed figure in the field should be at the front with Pineapple Man and Brigadier General. I actually do have that in my notes here. Could be a fast opening pace with the 3 or 4 front runners. I'd be very surprised if they actually took it slow. Maybe they will, especially if it's a very hot day. We'll have to wait and see. But I do expect Classic Causeway to be at the front. Unfortunately, though, he did tire out about halfway through the race in his most recent outing, and I think the distance could be an issue. So despite the fact that this horse is going off at 6-1, I'm a little bit worried about the distance. Finishing 11th in the Kentucky Derby is not great, and it's not terrible. I think it's just literally right in the middle of the road. So Classic Causeway is kind of a question mark. Like I think it depends on a lot of circumstances on where this horse is going to finish. But I didn't like how the horse seemed to have tired in the last race I saw. So I'm a little bit worried, obviously, about that when it comes to the distance. But anything can happen. 6-1, I'm a little bit surprised that this horse is being bet at this number. I would expect somebody else possibly to be bet a little bit higher than Ethereal Road, or lower, however you want to say it, because everybody says it in a different way, but you guys understand the point. So going off at 6-1, I'm not really looking at Classic Causeway too much. He's probably one of those horses I'll leave out, but 3 wins, this horse does know how to win in 7 career starts. I mean, that's almost over 50% of winning in his first 7 starts here. So I'm just concerned about the distance, and like I said, I'm concerned about his endurance as well. Now, if those 2 things are kept in check, maybe he's been doing some really good workouts lately, he can have a chance. But like I said, I'm not looking too much this horse's way, but I'll have to wait and see. I mean, I'm not going to place my wager until I probably get to the paddock anyways, just to actually look at the horses in person. So I'll have to see him up close to obviously make my final decision. But guys, that does it for the Grade 3 Ohio Derby. I saw somebody say it was a Grade 2, but this race has been a Grade 3 for the longest time. I don't think they just randomly changed it to a Grade 2 here. If that was the case, I think maybe we would have had possibly, a few more entries of some other higher graded horses. But it's still a Grade 3. It's a very enjoyable race. I cannot wait to see it. Again, I'm going 4, 5, 7. That's Ethereal Road, White Abario, and Tawny Port as my 3 picks. If you're going to wager on this, feel free to let me know your picks and who you like in the comment section below. I will probably try to live stream this. I'm not going to be live streaming the whole event. I'll probably just live stream the Derby itself if I can, or at least live stream myself at the track or something. I'm not sure yet, but you guys will probably see once we get there. So appreciate the love and support on the channel. If you're new, make sure to subscribe here for horse racing content and gaming, mainly the gaming. And we'll see you guys for the Ohio Derby, hopefully this Saturday. Appreciate your love and support. Until next time, Horse Racing Mirror sent out. I'll see you later because I'm exhausted, and goodbye.